What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Solomon's Porch with your host, Jason.
And Shawn.
And we are back here on the porch with another round 5. Thank you so much for tuning in. One thing I wanted to share with everybody is that, again, we are trying some new stuff here on the show. So if you see some weird or some different or some questioning things, I apologize. Also, make sure if you are watching this on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, that you go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And help us get to that magical number of 1,000, and that helps the show out a lot. Be able to get a bigger reach to other people, and we do have podcast as well. So if you're watching this and you'd rather listen to it in your vehicle or something, and not have to use a lot of data or whatever, you can check out the podcast. So go do all that awesome stuff. So this week we're doing our round 5. Shawn, you want to announce it since you're the one that came up with it? Sidekicks. Yeah, man, it's going to be fantastic. Shawn and I have a different list. I think we only have one shared one.
Yep.
And if this isn't on your list, then you're just not a fan of this particular type of a thing. So, yeah, man. So, Shawn, why don't you start us off with number 5, sir?
Sorry, excuse me. Pardon me. Yeah. Sidekicks, it was kind of broad. And I think that was one of the things that I liked about the topic, was that I think instantly we go to Batman and Robin, kind of thing. And that's fine, don't get me wrong. But there are a lot of team ups out there. And, there's a lot of great supporting characters that, frankly, the lead character might not be quite as awesome if they didn't have these sidekicks. And that's why we're doing sidekicks today. So this is to honor all those folks. My number 5 is going to be K2SO from Rogue One. K2. The great thing about K2 was that he was the comedic relief.
Yeah.
There were other folks and other parts here and there, but K2 was that was his express existence in all of this. So, Andor's got this great balance, and I don't know, man. It's just I'm excited for the show to be able to air on D+, and Cassian is just so uptight that you have to have somebody that comes in there and relieves some of that and brings that levity. And I can't think of the actor's name, but he did a spectacular job with K2. He's been in lots of other stuff too, where he's kind of played supporting actors anyway. But K2, man, I love him. Got to give him some props. So.
Yeah, man. So my number 5, and I think at least 2 of mine are going to be kind of guessed.
I really was going to have him on my list, but I thought.
You wanted different people. I know you, Shawn. You're the contrarian of the two of us.
Yeah, I really did.
You like to make your list nowhere near like mine, and not just to counter me, but just to counter everybody else's top 5 list.
Sure.
Because most lists are going to be the same. My number 5 is Bucky, James Buchanan Barnes,
and for me, only opposite of Falcon.
Yeah.
As Falcon, and Captain America. Not old school Captain America support, but new Captain America support.
Yeah, he just, you got that comic component to it, and he's just a, tough dude. He can take anybody down, that super soldier. I mean, to be honest, I didn't get as much Bucky as I wanted in Falcon and Winter Soldier. But in general, though, he's a great sidekick to Captain America, whether it's Steve Rogers or Sam Wilson. Either way, I feel like he's done a great job.
The character's got so much depth to him that, it's... I think that's what makes him so intriguing anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and this is... I don't think everybody's going to agree, but for me, some of the best sidekicks are the ones that can come right on in and take their lead partner's spot if need be. Mm-hmm. And Bucky has done that and can do that. And I feel like, obviously, if Falcon hadn't done it in the MCU, Bucky would have been the one to do that.
Sure.
And the only reason I didn't put Sam down here is because I see him more of a lead role at this point.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't put him down. But he would be, like, number 5 would be tied for Falcon or Winter Soldier, depending on what's going on. So
Sure.
yeah, but number 4.
All right, number 4. This is probably the only one that is most. Well, it is the only comic booky one anyway. But I'm not sure that folks necessarily see this person as a sidekick, but that is how this character originally started, even though they've made a big enough name on their own.
Yeah.
So Harley Quinn is my number 4. When we're talking about the animated series and when we first get Harley, it was just genius. Because again, you had to have some kind of counterbalance to the Joker. The Joker was just so to the nth degree all the time that having Harley kind of brought in some of that questioning that, is this really okay, whatever. But she's just so much fun. And I love a lot of the solo stuff that DC's been putting out for, despite the fact the movies really kind of haven't done her as much justice.
Movies are horrible, but the comic book's actually great.
No pun intended, justice. But yeah, so Harley Quinn's my number 4.
Yeah, interesting fact. Kevin Smith?
Yeah.
Yeah, his daughter's name is...
Yeah, I called him up yesterday.
His daughter's name is Harley Quinn Smith.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I suggested that to
him. Interesting to me. My number 4, and I'm surprised this doesn't make your list, is which I don't know if you would consider him a sidekick.
Yeah, it's one of those gray areas because they're more of a full team.
Right. Finn, FN2187.
Yeah.
From Star Wars. The what's it called? It's not the sequels, it's the prequels. The last 3 trilogy. The last trilogy, the episode 7, 8, 9. To me, he was just, I don't know, like he felt like he could have been a lead role, but because Rey was the lead character, that kind of made him somewhat of a sidekick. And to me, he was more of a sidekick than Poe was. So I like Poe, but Finn, I'd see him more of a sidekick. And there were so many things that just laughable moments and just some awesome kick butt moments. And then unfortunately moments that didn't get paid off. But I also think too, when you have a sidekick that so many people love to the point where they really wanted them to be the lead role or take a huge important role in a film, aside from what they were in the film they're actually in, or comic or whatever, I feel like that shows the strength of a great sidekick. Because whenever he had that lightsaber in episode 7, everybody was like, yes.
But see, I think that's the argument for why he's not a sidekick. So if you take those 3 main characters and you make the analogy to the original trilogy, so Rey is Luke, and then Poe is
Solo.
Sorry, yeah. And then no.
Yeah, he'd be Han Solo.
No, Poe.
No?
Poe is Leia.
Really?
Yeah, because they're institutionalized. Even though he's kind of rebellious,
he's a pilot.
Yeah, that's irrelevant. The point is that Poe is more of the rebel main guy. Okay. And so then you've got Finn, who is kind of that outsider on the edge, but doesn't quite fit it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys can argue with me. But anyway, they
didn't do a good job breaking that down as far as letting us know who's who.
Well, and I don't think that was ever necessarily their intention. Anyway.
Right.
But to me, that's kind of how it always felt. And so when you're talking about the layers of characters, your Poe and your Rey are kind of like your bigger characters, and then Finn just falls down below that. And then Finn's that character that you actually end up saying, you know what? I really do want to see a spinoff of just him.
Yeah.
Which, of course, they didn't do in the comic books. They did Poe instead. Go figure. I don't know. But whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. But again, everybody wanted more Solo. Then they got Solo. Then they got to complain. So whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move along.
And the actor is not coming back to Star Wars. Anybody who wants to know, he's absolutely done with it.
Yeah. So. Yeah. I don't blame him.
So number 3.
Oh yeah. Hey. So
you got to keep it in space, right?
There's that. But I grew up watching the TV show. I was actually this character for Halloween one year when as a child. Had the plastic mask and everything. And it really kind of doesn't matter where you are in terms of whether you're a fan or not. I think you have to give respect to this character. So I'm going to say that he's a sidekick only because he's not necessarily the lead character, Spock.
Okay.
So we always take Captain Kirk as being the lead. He's the captain, right?
Yeah.
So, and if you're talking about the old TV shows, definitely he was the lead. Spock was more of a sidekick at that rate. But the loyalty, and again, comedic level that's brought to it. But what I think that I always loved about at least Leonard Nimoy's portrayal. Specifically was that you're talking about an over-the-top character in Captain Kirk. Over the top. And so Spock brought it all back down to where it was like manageable, I think. And I think that's why I never was a big fan of Captain Kirk. He was almost too laughable. Whereas Spock was like, yeah, no, I totally get that. That's awesome. And, bruh, Spock shock. I mean, live long and prosper, man.
Oh, man. So my number 3, I didn't really think of him as a sidekick until I saw him pointed out as Dwight Schrute from Schrute Farms from The Office. Anybody who watches The Office knows that. But he's just that perfect person right there alongside Jim or alongside Michael or alongside whoever else is actually in lead, because he wants to be in charge so bad that he's willing to give anything and everything to be the manager, the regional manager of Dunder Mifflin Scranton.
So you like the kiss up?
No, I just like the hilarity that he plays.
Brown noser.
I like that. No, I like the hilarity that what he brings to that role in being like the number 2 guy on the show.
Well, I guess if he had to go off script and pull somebody out of something else, that's
your K2SO.
That's as good as one as any.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, like he's the problem is like Jim is such a likable character. He's like the perfect husband, so all the men hate him. Because he looks like this perfect guy. And it wasn't until season like 9, the last season, where they were finally like, yeah, let's put a little bit of dirt on him, just a little bit, and then we'll clean it right back off. And Schrute was just like, he is who he is. And he's like this guy that's really thick-skinned, tough, but he's got a soft heart, and he doesn't really want anybody to ever see it. You barely see it from time to time, but he's just a straightforward go-getter guy. And he kind of reminds me of me a little bit like that. It's just like, look, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do, and this is kind of my goal. I'm going to stay focused on my goal. But then you got those moments where it's like, man, I just want somebody to love me. And yeah, that's Dwight Schrute from Schrute Farms.
You're really pitiful.
Yeah, man. So number 2.
So yeah, it looks like you went ahead and made our number 2 is the same.
Number 2. Yeah.
Number 2.
Not Ratatouille.
Is Chewbacca.
Number 2 is Chewie. Yeah.
Chewbacca.
Wait, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
He's Chewie. Is it a he?
Chewbacca. Chewbacca is male, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because they refer to him as him.
But is that just a general him, or is that a specific him?
No, that's definitely very gendered.
Okay. All right.
So anyhow, Chewbacca, I mean, obvious reasons. I mean, he's cool. He's loyal. He grunts really awesome. I mean, it's just there's nobody to me. There's nobody better in Star Wars when you're talking about if you had to have a guy on your team. If you were picking a team, it doesn't matter, basketball, football, Rebel, it's going to be Chewbacca.
Yeah, he one, he can fly, so he can pilot a ship. He can work the ship. He can do hand to hand, like help you out hand to hand situation. He's weaponry.
The bowcaster is awesome.
Yeah, bowcaster. I couldn't think of the words. I just went with weaponry. But just in general, he's got a lot of skills, and and he's massive. He's just a frightening figure that you would want by your side. And obviously there's the comical components that they have to tell you when it's comical. And I just love that scene where Han says, not
why he's upset at Wookiee.
yeah, and then he's like, oh,
yeah.
I love that. It just, I don't know, man. It just made me laugh the first time I seen it, and and that, and a person that doesn't change that much within all the films. He looks pretty much the same, and he doesn't age really.
Yeah,
I mean, the first is a little different color.
The prequels.
So, oh yeah. Well, he wasn't in the prequel, so
yeah.
What was he? Oh, he was in episode 3.
Yeah,
that's right. But anyway, that, and he's is it a life debt that he's paying his life to? I can't remember, but he's very loyal, like you said, very loyal to that. So yeah, man. So number 1, Shawn.
My number 1
makes so much sense.
Has to be Watson. Yeah, John Watson, John Hamish Watson, John H. Watson.
Which one is that?
That's the OG. The only outside of that would be some uncanonical, and then the elementary Joan Watson. So, but anyway, I'm going to say Watson in general, and that would include Joan because I am a huge fan of elementary. So, yeah, and in fact, part of what I love about elementary's Watson is that she starts to build these skill sets that really almost compete with Sherlock's. And so instead of being the buffoon within the storyline, which sometimes he is portrayed as, he really isn't. He's our storyteller throughout all the original stories anyway. And so this is an intelligent person. This is someone that maybe a little aloof at times, definitely not up to par with Sherlock, but definitely, I mean, he's a physician. He's been in the military, so lots of due respect to this guy. And I so far I've been hard pressed to come across a rendition of him, an interpretation of him that I didn't like for some reason. Maybe didn't like the whole character, but that there were elements that I was like, okay, no, I can dig that. So if I were to cosplay as something Sherlockian, it'd probably be Mr. Watson.
So I mean, mine should kind of be easy guess for anybody out there. The question is, which Robin is my number 1?
Yeah.
Because there's tons of them. There's tons of them. I like Jason Todd more as Red Hood than Robin.
Okay.
Which he's more well known for Red Hood than Robin anyway.
Sure.
Honestly, man, just the original Dick Grayson.
Okay.
Just that the storyline is better. The fact that he became one of the best fighters in DC Comics, period. Like, he's hands down one of the best fighters in all of DC Comics. And if Superman wasn't so strong, he could take out Superman hand to hand, minus Superman's strength. But then again, I think anybody could, because Superman's just a bunch of power. He's not really like a fighter.
He doesn't have the skill set.
Yeah, so he just got that strength. But however, Dick Grayson does have that skill set, and he can go toe to toe with Batman, and has done on many occasions. And so that, and he League of Shadows, all sorts of situations. But that, and he went off on his own, and became Nightwing. So it shows that he can be a sidekick and a lead character. And I mean, a lot of people do that in the comic book world, so it's not a unique thing. But it's just they moved him out of the way, and they brought in somebody else. And it looked like Robin was the poster boy for sidekicks for so long. He's like the sidekick. He's one of the sidekicks, at least in the comic book world.
I would say most iconic. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. And but I will say, definitely my least favorite. I don't know. Maybe should we do a worst sidekicks?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say my least favorite for that one. So maybe we'll do the worst 5 sidekicks next time.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. So that's my number 1. Of course, it's going to be Robin from the Batman comics or the Detective Comics. So yeah, man. Honorable mentions.
I've got Maria Hill from the MCU. I don't know her comic book presence very much. But I love what man. I knew I was going to forget her name anyway. The actress, I don't know. I just really like what she did, the comedic level that she brought to everything, the snarkiness. In fact, that's why I was a big fan of Stumptown, which is no longer a show, by the way. People stink. But anyway, Maria Hill from MCU and Chewie.
Chewie? Which Chewie?
Not Chewbacca. Chewie from the Captain Marvel comic books. Not the MCU movies where they renamed him the Flurkin. Yes, the cat. Captain Marvel's cat is named Chewie in the comic books, the Flurkin. And I only started reading the comics because my daughter was into it. I was like, oh, what the heck? Let me check it out. And I really dug it, and I love what Chewie does in the comics. So probably the best series for that to get a good sense of Chewie is The Life of Captain Marvel. So check that out. It's a fun read, and it's not very long. I don't remember how many issues, maybe a dozen or so.
Okay. So honorable mentions is Groot. Rocket and Groot. I mean, to me, he's kind of like the Chewie of the Guardians,
sure,
in a way. And so he just, I'm pretty sure they probably got Groot from Chewie in a way. And then Leonard Hofstadter.
I don't know that he's kind of still a co-lead.
And I was thinking about that, but I think when you think Big Bang Theory, you think Sheldon. I think most people, he's the face.
I think most people do. Sure, I don't, but
you're not most people.
No, I'm not. I'm definitely special.
Yeah. So I don't know. To me, anyway. Leonard just seems. I mean, because especially in, he's usually like Sheldon's the center of attention. Everything's all about Sheldon, at least in Sheldon's eyes, and everybody's trying to figure out how to get around Sheldon or to calm him down. And so that Leonard's usually that person that can figure out a way to manipulate the situation or try to in order to comfort the ever so irritating Sheldon.
See, and I see that as another Luke and Leia and Han situation. So Sheldon is like Luke.
Okay.
Yeah, whiny. And then anyway.
That makes sense. So anyway, so that's it for our round 5 top sidekicks. Let us know in the comments who your favorite sidekicks are. They don't have to be comic book related. They could be anything else, like Shawn, he picked Watson. And who else did you pick that's not comic booky?
It could actually just be, Vice President or somebody, Spock.
Yeah, I was going to say and Shawn because he always calls himself a co-host. But it's like co-lead, so
there you go.
It's not quite. Well, you're not a sidekick.
Well, I thought about some other Star Trek characters. So, but anyway,
Lieutenant Commander Data.
I wouldn't say he's a sidekick. But...
Man, I ain't got no sidekicks right yet. All right, man. That's it for the show right now. We'll be back with another segment soon. Please